Fallout 4. We're doing the collectible magazines, the Massachusetts Surgical Journals. Alright, so our first one on our hit list all the journals are pretty much in some kind of medical facilities, hospitals, clinics, whatever. Okay, so our first one over at the Bedford Hospital, basically AK Mutant Central, and these mutants do spawn up in this place. Multiple quests will run you back and forth to this place, whether it's cleansing the Commonwealth or collecting tech or whatever. Okay, so right there is our number one. You could actually collect this one through the window.
Excellent. Sweet.
Alright, so by all means come in and loot the area. Again, you can totally collect that magazine through the window if you're not interested in coming in here and looting the place, but hey, looting is what Fallout's all about, so okay, so the mid-tech one had some kind of snafu. Basically, when you're with McCleary, McCleary's got like a double quest thing that he's got going on. One, he asks you to help eliminate the gunners that were messing with him when you first meet him. And then the second one is to find the cure for his son. And that leads you off to this building, and when I look back I was like, I don't know, whatever the reason is, but it's quite the lengthy procedure to get down to the bottom level where the magazine is. Okay, in order to get the access to the airlock, to get to the lower elevator, is you come up here, fighting through the ghouls. Okay, that will give you the access to the lower terminal underneath. That'll get you to the lower part of the building. And I believe through this hole is the fast way. Yep, there you go. And that's your terminal. Okay, dispatching any enemies along the way. Okay, these rooms are locked. I believe they got a couple ghouls in there. Take the elevator down to the lower area. Okay, so this whole area is jammed up with ferals. And you keep traversing down to the lower area. Can't believe like this building didn't be one of the redoable places. It's quite the chore to get down to this lower area. I could see, you know, where they have you cleansing the Commonwealth or the Institute to clear out feral ghouls. But nevertheless, our second magazine is right on one of these two tables right there. And that is it again. Again, I don't know how I missed it. Well, I did collect it, but I didn't make a video on it, so I was going through them like, where's my magazine? Anyway, at least they always give you a fast route back out of here, so... Okay, so that's our number 2. Okay, so we're at the Boston Library, and I guess this one is not hospital or clinic related, which is whatever. But in order to get this one, you're going to need to have built up some overdue books or have some of the tokens available as well.
Please dispose of food waste in the marked receptacle.
Okay, so I don't know exactly at what point in the game I am at this point, but I have been stashing the overdue books. They're just all over, and I can't exactly say how many it's going to take, but this magazine is in the return token part of the thing. Periodically throughout the game, you'll come across these places that will take their overdue books and then give you tokens in return, in which case you can buy stuff with. But most of the time, the stuff that's in there is kind of, it ain't worth it. And of course, up in the library, you might come across some overdue books as well.
Visitors and employees are advised to seek cover and remain calm.
Approach and identify yourself. Law-abiding citizens will not be harmed. Unidentified intruder detected. Identify yourself.
your rear entrance. Visitors and employees are advised.
Okay, so right here is the machine, and this is the one that has our magazine in it. Okay, so I got quite a few tokens built up. This is not the first time I've come across one of these overdue book machines, and I've been holding on to the tokens, knowing that at some point I was going to have to buy this magazine. Alright, so I got 15 books right here, and I had quite a few tokens already. So I'm going to go ahead and return whatever books I got on me. Now, the magazine was not available for some reason. So I went off and killed off the rest of the people in this place and all the super mutants, and then I came back to this machine, and then the magazine was available. But this is the machine that has it. You cannot get the magazine in any of the other overdue book machines. But pretty much this is the only thing that I've ever actually got out of one of these overdue book machines. The rest of the stuff in here is basically crap, and it's not like anything that you couldn't find anywhere else. Teddy bears and I don't know, just crap. It's just nothing of any use to me, or at least to me anyway. Anyway, the magazine was not here, so I left and went ahead and continued killing off all the super mutants in there. So I came back and the magazine was there. Okay, so that's our number 3. A little bit in there, I guess. If you didn't have enough overdue books to buy it, you'd have to just go off and there's really like no location on them. You just have to, as you traverse through the game, you'll come across them and just save them. They go into your miscellaneous slot, so you can't really sell them unless you go in there and pick them. And they're not in your junk slot, so you don't do that. But anyway, in the Green Tech building, as you traverse the main story to get to the Courser, I can't really comment whether or not you can get up here off mission, because the truth is I've never really been in this building. I've been in after, and there's no enemies, so it's pretty much just a leisurely walk up to the level. So you just keep traversing the area, keep heading up, and eventually you get to this room. There's like a little lounge area here, and the magazine is right there.
Who?
So
Nice.
I guess this would be like another journal that's not in a hospital or clinic related.
I'm not gonna make this easy for you. Shit!
Okay, the building is full up with gunners on the way up to get to the Courser. Okay, so this place over near Salem is kind of like a nursing home, I guess. Anyway, there's a bunch of gutsy robots in here kind of maintaining the place, and they are pretty much
Welcome to Sandy Cove's
kind of out of it that everybody's
How
dead.
may I help you?
I'm checking in. My family filled out the paperwork earlier.
you in Gladys'
Okay,
old
so what will
room.
happen,
Take the back stair and it's
even
the
if
first
you're
door
in
on
the
your
Institute,
left.
which
Have
I
a
believe
nice
at this
day.
point I am, half a dozen or so synths are going to show up, and they're going to come violent to the robots. Now, these robots are basically, they ain't hurting nobody, and they're basically friendly to me, so I am not down with these synths killing them.
Welcome to Sandy Cove.
Okay, so I got the game saved in a spot so I can deal with these synths. And what happens is, as soon as you traverse to the back part of the facility and then come back, there'll be the robots like, oh, we have some new visitors or whatever, and it's basically a half a dozen or so synths, and they all start shooting at the robots, and robots will try to fight back, but the synths pretty much take them out, and I'm like, I just ain't down with that. So planting mines will not really be beneficial because they will kill the robots as well. But you hack that terminal and that unlocks this door, and that's our next magazine.
Perfect.
So basically, like I said, I got the game saved, and I would go to the back part and then come up here, and the synths will be out there. And it took a little bit to come up with a plan to kill all the synths without having any of the robots die. And it's not like a big deal, even if they do die, the robots, and the rest of them don't become hostile to you. It's really nothing that you could have done about it, but I was able to kill all the synths off and save the robots. Anyway, our next one is over here at the Blood Mass Clinic or something or other. Anyway, this place is jammed up with bugs. You got the blood bugs and the blowflies and all that. Okay, just south of the fort. Okay, I believe on the second floor there's a little room that you need to access with a monitor, and you have to get the code from another terminal on the lower level here. Okay, so right there in front of us was the room that we have to get in, but in this room is where you get the access. In that terminal right there is where you'll get the access for that terminal. So you hack this one, and then it'll give you the code for the other terminal. Okay, so that's what we needed. Feel free to read through the terminal if you like. Come over here to get this door opened up, and inside will be our next magazine.
Perfect.
Okay, the Palmer Labs. Okay, once you come in here, the Gutsy will pretty much talk to you and ask you about being an employee, and then it'll send you off into the clean room or whatever, basically inside the lab. And once you get in there, you're kind of locked in there, so you have to complete the quest. Once you do that, she'll be like, the director wants to see you. Right there is the gutsy that kind of puts you in there, and then and here's the director's room, and he's turned feral. And on the desk is the next journal.
Excellent.
If you're a power suit person, it's definitely worth your time to come up in here. The quest will basically make a nice torso piece. Again, you cannot get into this room until you complete the quest, but once you get in there, you're kind of locked in, so you have to complete it. If you take the fast way out, you cannot get the armor piece, but you can get into that office. But nevertheless, okay, so inside the Cabot house, you have to complete the quest here when they send you up to the insane asylum. I believe the back bedrooms are not accessible till after you complete that. So once you get done with that, you can get up in here. Right there is Jack's main laboratory area, research, whatever. And in this bedroom is our journal.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so inside the asylum, whether you decide to let Lorenzo live or die or whatever, I'm basically off mission. I went ahead and I basically let Jack kill him. I actually did it both ways to kind of see what the deal was. But nevertheless, whichever way you decide, you can come back off a mission and get down into this little chamber where he was in order to get the last magazine, at least for me. Okay, so there's Jack.
I only wish I'd been able to find some way to cure my father before it came to this. I still believe that with a little more time, I might have found some way to remove the artifact. But it doesn't matter now.
If you decide to let father live, he will come out and basically want to kill off his whole family, but that is really up to you how you want to go about that. You know, I'm up in here. This guy's been in here for over 400 years, and I'm wondering how he ate or did his business up in here. Although he seemed to have cigars and whiskey to kind of help pass the time.
Excellent.
And there's one copy of the journal in here, but 400 years with no bathroom. I'm wondering how that little trick played out. Nevertheless, that's our 9 journals, and that's going to wrap it up. And we'll see you on the next set of journals.